Thank you for doing this interview with me today. So we'll get cracking with it then. So the whole purpose of this interview, as I said to you before, is to just understand the body of work that you do. Mm-hmm. So, albeit from my research, music videos, promotional videos and all that sort of stuff, we'll just look into that today. So so I'll start with the first question. Is there any equipment that has massively aided you in any aspects of your recent projects?
It's going to be the camera. It's like almost a obvious one, but genuinely, if you didn't have that, then you can't do anything. So we use an A7 III. I don't know how much detail you want me to go into the type of gear that we use, but
go for it. Yeah.
We use a Sony. We use two Sony A7 IIIs. One with a DJI Ronin S gimbal. We're looking at getting an RS3 very shortly because of the capabilities that has over the Ronin S. We upgraded our lens to the G series now, and the specific reason for that is we did have a TAMROM, but it wasn't a full frame. It was crop censored, so it was really difficult in low light situations. It was a lot noisier than the G series. We wanted to get G Masters, but we aren't made of money, so we've waited on that. But yeah, so to answer the question, it's really the A7 III has been the be all and end all because it's such a perfect balance between photo and video. And then on top of that, I've got a really good MacBook Pro stuff. But the thing is that MacBook Pro, it's 32 gigabyte unified RAM, and it's also 1 terabyte SSD. Now has reinstated the SD cards on the side of the actual hardware, which Apple took away previously. So the reason I'm saying that is kind of a secondary is because when you're on a shoot, you can offload a lot of footage onto the hard drive of the Mac. You don't have to carry a hard drive with you because it's a terabyte. And it's also the M1 processing chip, so it's super quick when it comes to editing, which means you can edit, film something, put it onto the laptop, chuck a grade on it just to see if it's correct, and then carry on moving. So honestly, the A7 III and that laptop have really, really been the pushing point for the business. It's if you can work with better quality things and you can work faster, then you can do more. Just that is the big thing for us.
Oh, cool. A bit of a side tangent, but is there a particular reason why that you use mainly Apple products compared to like maybe Windows and things like that?
Connectivity. And also just for creative roles, it's so much better. Like I've never had an Apple product that after 5-6 years has slowed down in the same pace that Windows does. So Windows might have the same capability, but I find after 3 to 4 years they get really slow, and I don't know why. And a lot of computer people might watch this and be like, "You're an idiot."
I had sort of additional question as well. To the equipment thing. I noticed when I was looking at like your stuff with the music videos and things, I noticed there was one music video. I can't remember the name of it on the top of my head, but there was one that had very fast cutting, and there was very cool looking like light transition effect, like that wipe and the like smeary lens sort of look. Yeah. Was there anything in particular equipment wise that helped you there?
Honestly, no, a lot of that would be in post. So fast transitions and lighting, you can hire a lot of lighting in. That's one thing I'd say is yes, it's great to buy lighting. Don't get me wrong, it's great because you can hire that out as well. So you can almost create a sub business within yourself. But honestly, like the best thing to do with projects is just hire it in and charge the client. So for a music video like that, location, I think for some of those videos that you're referring to, about £200 for a day, which is cheap. And then the lighting was like $450 for the day. So you just say to the band, look, it's going to be $650 for the day for the location and lighting. Then you've got to do a lighting engineer and all that sort of stuff, plus then whatever your fee is, but you break that down for the artist, give them a lot of notes so they can get the money together. So that would either be lighting, where you then would so a day like that, you'd set up the lighting how it is, and then you'd have somebody who either sits and does manually the lighting things, or you play the song and in a section you program the lights to do certain things, so you press a button per section of the song. Otherwise, the smear and stuff like that is a cool trick where you, with the camera, if I had a camera, I'll show you, but you basically, with the camera, you take the lens off, so you unclip the lens, but keep it on, and then whilst you're filming, you dip the lens on and off, so it lets light through to the shutter, not through the lens, so that's how you get those like blurry kind of like light sparks and lens flicks.
Oh wow, because I sort of imagined it like, because I've seen tricks where people like get like a UV filter and put Vaseline on it, that sort of thing. That's what I sort of imagined, but that's interesting.
So yeah, you can dip the lens off on and off the body of the camera, but you can also another one of the things you can do is get a prism. So some of the other ones to make people look like they're like doubling up and double exposure is you just get their little light prisms, and you can even buy. You can either buy like official ones and they cost like 50 to 100 quid, or you go on Amazon and they're like a tenner. And they're literally just little plastic things that you hold in front of the lens whilst you're like filming. And then when you get all the kind of natural movement, because it's a like fast-paced music video and you want like a lot of movement to it to keep it interesting, just put the prism in front of it, kind of like shakes up stuff as well.
No, that's brilliant. I think just like another follow-up on that, I know because you're very into AR specifically. I just wanted to know if you see a future with them. I imagine you do, but just what sort of future do you see where it is going?
I mean, they're the boys. I said to them the other day, I was like, no matter what projects we bring on, like they're kind of top priority in my eyes. So please say no other customers are watching this. You're all top priority in my eyes. No, there's a really cool working relationship with AR, and moving forward, we've got really exciting upgrade into what we're doing, because we've had a strategy for the last year, and the big strategy was to move them away from Book My Garage. So Book My Garage is where a lot of their bookings were happening. 80% of their bookings came through bookmygarage.com. Whereas we wanted 80% of the bookings to go through their books, because otherwise you've got profit margins and so on and so forth. So every time it goes through Book My Garage, they have to pay a profit margin to Book My Garage, whereas if it comes direct, they don't have to do that. So there was a big old transition with their marketing to be able to actually transition all of that. So YouTube was one of the big things that I pushed them down, because second biggest search engine on the internet. Better social media presence with posting consistent, good, high quality content. There was a certain way of having presence at different events, something that you will have seen yourself. So even like the other day at Bewley, turning up with the AR van, having leaflets on the top thing, really boots on the ground, simple stuff. Just doing that in a certain light, and having a couple of characters somebody like my dad, who can talk the ear off someone. And just that alone builds confidence within a brand, and it helps that I used AR as a customer first. So then because of that, then a lot more people are like, oh, okay, cool, we like what you do. So that's where that strategy went. So moving forward, we need to tweak the strategy a little bit. It's not been all confirmed yet, so I don't really want to go into it too much. But the big thing with AR is there is another strategy over the next year to achieve a certain different level of hype. So beforehand it was, let's transition 80% bookings through bookmygarage.com to direct. We achieved that. Now it's another leap which we want to do, and that involves website and more advertising and so on and so forth.
If you were to pick one project, what project was the most sort of educational, most experience from it, start to finish?
I'd probably say the latest client who actually parted ways, purely because the whole point of that was to create 3 different reels, 3 photo posts, and then 1 vlog per week. Now, those reels were very specific. You've seen the speed ramp kind of stuff, the really high edit, like car kind of videos, some like masking on the badges, really quick edits in between them. There's a certain style of filming to be able to actually then use that footage to actually then in post create those reels. Now, the pre-production of that is having a good location, a good car, for instance, that looks nice, is presented well, then setting up the camera with the correct settings to actually stand and then record and know the kind of shots you're going to get. You got to hope that the weather's good. And then after that, it's offloading the footage, choosing the correct footage, cutting down and then you go into your post phase. So the pre-production phase of it, already you should know what your objective is behind what you're creating, because there's a lot of stuff that I've done for people in the past where I've had a certain vision for how I'm going to capture something and make it look, and then when it gets released and I watch how they actually wanted to release it, I've gone, maybe I haven't listened to you or asked the right questions, because we should have actually done X, Y, and Z. Yeah. So when it comes to something like that project that's just gone, the pre-production was all down to the objective of what they're even trying to achieve. Are they doing it because they want it to look cool? Is it increasing the brand? Is it exposure? Is it impressions? Is it actually just to get more comments? Are you trying to create a funnel for your business? what is it? I'd say that's kind of the process with a lot of different things. Is there's a huge communication beforehand, depending on what the project is. Then there's obviously the pre-production to sorting out what they need for the project. There's the actual executing the project, then all the post-production afterwards. So post-production's always easier when your pre-production has been really good. It's exactly the same with a video shoot. If you do all the pre-production correctly and all the communication is done when it comes to executing and looking at stuff in post, it's like, have you sorted your lighting correctly? Is the lighting in the correct place? Are your settings congruent with where you are actually shooting? You know, is the grade going to be, you know, you put a lot onto it and you're like, wow, that looks really good straight away because you've got all the lighting and the pre-production stuff done first. So yeah, it's definitely huge importance that, but that is really, I guess for one project, that is kind of a baseline for what we do.
Fantastic.
I hope that was enough information.
Yes,
I feel like I'm rambling a bit.
No, that's absolutely perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you for the interview.
Not a problem, man. It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you.